idea of all these majority of Black men going around and creating all these kids with multiple Black women. Again, we're talking about a minority. I want to be clear that we're talking about a very small minority. This is one issue, again, that I have with the divestor. They will take a very small percentage of the Black male population and then paint that as the entire collective. And then, you kind of zone them down on, you try to have specific conversations about, okay, well, let's look at the stats, let's look at the data, whatever it may be. And then it becomes, oh, well, my friend, oh, well, me, or this, and that. And it's like, just because you've had a bad experience or because, somebody you knew in your family had a bad experience does not now implicate an entire people group in these issues. So again, when we're talking about the multiple baby daddy scenario that she is referring to, where these men are going around creating all these kids out of wedlock and not paying for them and no child support, whatever. Again, we're talking about a good 15%. Over 50% of Black men are single and childless right now. Over 50%, right? No, 54% actually went up. About 54% are single and childless. Around 30% of them are married. So that leaves about 15 to 60% of them left to be in that category of, unmarried, having kids. Again, around 54% single, childless. There is no children. They're not in a relationship. They are removed from the conversation. That right there is a majority of men, majority of Black men. They are completely removed from this conversation. So they cannot be blamed for children that they're not creating. That's the majority, right? And then we have about 30% of Black men who are married. So again, they're married, they're committed to their women. So they're not in the conversation. We're looking at about 15 to 60% of Black men who are creating all this ruckus and who are really fueling the conversation of the divestiture ideology. I want you to remember that point. Yes, there are the dusties. Yes, those exist. Yes, there are whatever, the Pookies and Mermaids, those absolutely exist. And also, by the way, that is not everybody. And again, if you are so surrounded by dusties, what is that saying about you? That is what I say to Black women. I'm just like, if all you're saying is that the dustiness is all around you, then what is that saying about you or where you're hanging out? Have you ever been in a dusty room or in a room that has a lot of, dust and it's just old and it needs to be cleaned? There's no way you can walk out of that room without it getting on you in some way, shape, or form. Especially if you try to clean it, you're gonna inhale it. You may start coughing. Like, we've all been there. So it's like, again, if you are surrounded by dust, what is it saying about you? That dustiness is getting on you. I want to reiterate that. So again, I want to continue. But just